Guys, we've been talking funding. We've been talking opportunities. As you guys know how we get down here at the Empower Hour, we are here to bring you guys the information to support you all in your growth and your development. I am excited for the show that we have today. We have the one and only Vertus from the Groupe Concept. They have a fund going on right now, whereas nonprofit organizations in the community, you could get up to $105,000 to support your organization. Stay tuned today as we deep dive and we provide you all the information that you need to access this money today on the Empower Hour.
I think this is deep.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We bring power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Blessed melanated rising, my people. I am so grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to our ancestors. One, for being present with us, as they're always with us and around us. And I'm grateful for the opportunity that they have given us to be on here today. And I just ask that today's show, let it be uplifting, let it be inspiring, let it be educational, let it be fun, entertaining, but most importantly, let it be empowering for each and every one of our listeners out there as I send out the spirit of love, light, unity, strength, great health, peace, wealth, and joy to everybody out there. Hotep, amen, ashe, aibabu. Gina the Great, what it do?
I feel like I got bamboozled this week. I have the joy of having indoor parking, and so I do get to not have to touch the cold air or the outside air unless I want to until the very last moment. The other day I left my house and I asked my device, hey, what's the temperature out there? And said, oh, it's -3. I'm like, okay, that's a coat. I got a little sweater thing on. That's okay. I don't have to even zip up the coat. It's just a quick coat thing. I'll go out and do that. So I take umbrage because I feel like if you're going to tell me the temperature, don't tell me it's -3, but then I got to scroll down to see that, well, but it feels like -10.
That's because you said -3 and I was like, that's without the wind chill, my G. That just sounds like that's the guesstimated weather.
Right. Well, then that just means that it's -3 when the wind decides to when the wind isn't winding, when it decides to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to take a breather on the blow. And now this is -3. But however, 99.9% of the rest of the time, it's going to be -10.
Yeah.
And so I don't appreciate that because I would have dressed accordingly had I been advised accordingly. And I just, I don't know who I got to call to just be like, just say what it feels like. Don't tell me what the weather is. Just tell me what it feels like.
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. I'm ready to co-sign all them things right there. So before I transition and before we go into Parlay with the People with our featured guest that we have here, Vertus from the Groupe 3737, we'll take a pause for the cause and we'll be back.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people, y'all.
All right, beautiful people. So we are back. So like I had mentioned before the break, I am excited. We have the one and only Vertus from the Groupe 3737. And guys, as you guys know, I want to say la nerf de la guerre, guys, you can't, the one of the key successes in business is you do need access to capital. Over the years, as more melanin dominant people within the community, we've had a hard time getting access to funding. So whether it be trying to just get through and get a business loan, we've faced some barriers of discrimination. Whether it be getting access to grants, we've faced discrimination because there's always been a catch-22 where we're applying for grants, but we don't have the proper structure to apply for the grants, so we don't get the grants, but we need the funds from the grants to be able to create the structure. It's been a vicious cycle. So over the last couple of years, we have been witness to some historical things that has happened in the community where we have been able to unlock millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in order to support the needs of the Black community across Canada. So now that in itself deserves a round of applause. I'm just going to clap that up, clap that up, clap that up. And within Quebec, we are blessed to have the Groupe 3737 that they serve as a fiduciary here for the people within the province of Quebec, and as fiduciary, they basically receive a chunk of the capital, and then we're able to go through them to be able to access the funding. Now, I'm excited because there's a fund coming right now. It's like right around the corner. It's live. It's open. It's an opportunity where we could get up to $105,000, guys, for your organization. And it's for capacity building. So what does that mean? If you're not ready, this is a grant to help you be ready. All right. So it's one of the situations where you'll be able to get that support. And I have the man, the guy himself, who is, okay, he's not the man. He is the man of the program. He is the guy we have to connect with. He is the guy that's been helping us. He's the person that comes in to educate everybody about the funds that are available. He helps to oversee his amazing team. Shout out to Jason. Shout out Rebecca. Shout out the whole team. I mean, the whole nine. You guys are awesome. I am excited to introduce you all to Vertus. Welcome to Parley with the People. Thank you for being on the Empower Hour, my brother. Merci beaucoup.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. So maybe we're going to be able to speak English and French, mostly English. But
my brother.
Sometime I will have to give some French words.
Frère, comme j'ai dit au début, gêne-toi pas. Notre émission est complètement bilingue. So we are a bilingual show here. We rock the franglais, pas de problème. If you're saying something that's very, very powerful and it's too French, we'll just translate. Gina the Great is good at that. Okay. So I'll be throwing her in. But so Ed, before we dive into the role and stuff that you do at 3737, can you just take a moment just to introduce yourself to the community and just let us know like what your inspiration was for getting into, what you're doing right now, a little bit about you and your background?
Good. So I'm going to start by introducing Groupe 3737 first. And then
you want to?
What I'm doing at Groupe 3737. Groupe 3737 is a non-profit.
Okay.
They've been created since 2016. So it's about 7 years now. They've been operating. And just like all organizations, sometime maybe 3 years after we've been created, we get a grant of $38,000 from the government of Quebec. So it was a teeny program. We're not even able to really hire someone, a full-time job. $38,000, you cannot hire anyone. But we started by this. And you see from this grant, 1 year after, we apply on a program of 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then it was something like over 200,000. So now the organization was in operation like for 5 years then. Okay. So basically what we do, we are a business incubator and a business accelerator. During the last years, we help over 2,000 entrepreneurs, either incorporated enterprises or social enterprises. So basically, we connect entrepreneurs to the ecosystem.
Okay.
That's what we've been doing.
Just to pause you 2 seconds. When you say you connect entrepreneurs to the ecosystem, for those who are hearing this, what does that mean? Like
the ecosystem is all the organizations around. All the organizations who can help entrepreneurs, either they are young, women, immigrants. These are the organizations who can offer funding, support, coaching, mentoring, training. Groupe 3737 is in an ecosystem of 112 organizations all around the country. And these organizations, we connect them, we connect our entrepreneurs to these organizations. For example, you're a nonprofit, we will connect you with private foundation because we're gonna organize a conference where we're gonna bring these organizations, these foundations, so you can meet with them. Same thing with mentorship, same thing with financing. For example, you need to do some crowdfunding. So we have partners who will come and they will have a workshop. So now you know how to do crowdfunding. So this is what we've been doing for the last years. That is the ADN of Groupe 3737.
Nice.
But in the last 3 years, since 2020, we've been mandated by the federal government to be intermediary for the SBCCI, Supporting Black Canadian Communities Initiative. So it's an envelope where we will run open, fair, and transparent process to distribute the funds. And also, when you get the funds, you join a community of practice where every month or on a regular basis, you will go on workshops, like I said, to meet the ecosystem. Because the ecosystem, even though they do some effort to reach organizations, but sometimes they cannot reach all Black organizations. So then the Groupe 3737 become a hub. We said, okay, you said, for example, specifically these private big foundations. There's a report dated of 3 years ago stating that less than 1% of the donations from great foundations, less than 1% went towards Black communities.
Damn.
Imagine, we are 1.5 million Black people in the country, but less than 1 people. But what we know about Black people in general, probably we have higher issues than others. We have issues in housing. We have issues in justice. We have issues in employment. We have issues in terms of, I wanted to talk about wealth, but what's the opposite of wealth?
Poverty.
Yeah. I wanted to say unwealth, but we have so we have all these issues.
Yes.
But we are the ones who get the less.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, we didn't know how to get rid of them. So we said, you know what? Every year we will do a national conference where you're going to be in contact with us. So we did it in 21, we did it in 22, we did it in 23. And guess what? We're going to do it again in 2024. And every time we do this, every time at the end of the call, they make contacts with the foundations. And guess what? In the next few months, they get funded.
That's amazing.
So this is an example for NPO, but same thing with businesses. We will organize.
Just so I want to just point out how important that is, because even from my experience working with foundations are very relationship based. Okay. For those who don't know, for foundations, they have to know you, because a lot of times with family foundations, they don't have to do anything really. Like obviously they're a lot of times are holding a lot of funds. So they kind of feel there's a certain obligation, you know, so social causes and whatever be the case. But the fact that Group 3737 is opening the door to create that relationship for you guys, or introducing you guys to foundations, don't take it lightly. I know Ed is just like mentioned the way he is, but I do want to give you guys some context just from my experience working with foundations. It's a huge opportunity that 3737 is creating by opening that door. Sorry, Ed, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Frau. So same thing with other funders. Some other funders, they are here in the ecosystem, but for some reason, they don't fund much Black enterprises or Black organizations. So we are here to connect with them. So this is one of our roles. But in this supporting Black Canadian communities, our main role is to fund. We become the funder. We are not alone. We are 4 funders in the country. We are called the National Funders Intermediary Network. So in the west end of the country is Africa Center, who's doing the same thing that we do. In Ontario, it's Tropicana Community Services. In Quebec, it's Groupe 3737. And in the Maritimes, it's Black Business Initiative, who is taking care of the same mandate that we have. So basically, since we've been doing this since 2020, we already supported 206 organizations all over Quebec. French organization, English-speaking organizations, African leadership background organization, Caribbean leadership organization, 206. It's a lot. There's no other.
It is a lot. Hold on, because I don't want to cut you again, but I do feel it's worth another round of applause. I'm throwing that in there. And when you hear it on the radio, it's going to be dope. You know? That is huge. 206 organizations have been supported and funded is a big deal, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot. A lot, for example, just to give you my personal example, there's a huge organization here which is called PME Montréal, or in English, PME Montreal. Yeah. So they've been there forever. And me, I was working for them like for a few years. And I was in charge of the East part, like Montreal North and everything. And imagine, over 4 years, even though it's a well-known organization, even though it's an organization who is for all the communities, everyone living in Montreal, like East, we did not fund more than 100 organizations in 4 years.
Oh, shoot. We need to do the
4 years,
comparison.
we did not fund more than 100 organizations. So Groupe 37 went in a period of 2 years and a half, we fund 206, but it's not done yet because this 206 organization, we fund them during first round. So the very first call of project, people could apply until January 8th, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spring of 2021, we funded 58 organizations.
Yes.
Then after we get some other funding, and then we increase it for another 105 organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a second call of project. People could have applied until November 2021. And we fund another 43 organizations to bring it to 206 organizations, $14 million. Now, when I said now, it means since last week, Monday, November 20th, until in 2 weeks, December 15th. So for about 1 month, this is the third call of project. So that means everyone can apply. Those who already get the funding can still apply, and all new organizations who haven't been funded so far can apply. Just to give you some numbers, based on our own statistics, estimations, we estimate that there's about 500 Black-led organizations in Quebec. Black-led, that means your board is mainly Black, your management is mainly Black, and your mission is to serve Black communities. So we have an estimation of 500. Out of this 500, so far, we funded 43% of them. We funded 206. But also, since we've been on the field for the last years, so we've been in touch with other organizations that we meet. They come in our office. They join our conferences. We have some major events that we organize. In November, we have this gala when we have something like over 400 people. In May, we have another gala where there's another 400 people, plus all our community of practice. So during all these events, periods, and also they join us during our social media. They join us via our website. So we have another 200 organizations who are not funded yet, but they are in contact with us. They are in our database. So right now, Groupe 37, more than 80% of the active Black-led organizations are in our database. And in this third call of projects, so we have another 200 organizations who will be looking for funding. Most likely, we will not be able to fund all the 500 organizations, but we will do our best. So far, we funded 43%. Again, when there's an organization who have a target, they have a target clientele, we believe, not only we believe, but also our funders believe, because we are funded by the federal government, but we're also funded by the provincial government, we're funded by the municipal government. So all our funders, they know us for that. We can reach organization, and this is the proof. When out of 500, we funded more than 43%, and we're in touch with 80%. So most likely next year, when everything will be done, because those who are going to apply, we will know the organization rewarded during the Black History Month in February. So then we will be able to tell you how many more organizations that we funded. So this is what we've been doing.
Let's take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of HJCourtierAuto.com. That's HJCourtierAuto.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to the next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Oh, gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-de-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other. So for those who are out there and those who are hearing this right now, one, if you know that you're not in the 3737 database, you need to, this is a call for you to take heed to the heads up, take heed to the announcement, and make sure that you get connected so that you're at the very least you're part of the database. But now this is an opportunity for that 20% that's missing, or technically 46% are funded. Right now is an opportunity for that other, what is that, 56 or 54, whatever, you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, but there's opportunity for them to be funded. And also, I would like to share something with you right now. This is the link, because when we are in a period of call of project, we use all network we know to spread the word.
Yes.
So now, you are a network, and last week, we had something like 80 individuals who were in an information session, who were in a Jamaica Association. So we had about 80 organizations were there in this event. And the day before, we were at Groupe 3737, another 100. And also, we went in different regions. We went in Quebec City, we went in Gatineau, we went in Sherbrooke, because we start all this since October. And now, on the social media, we are spreading the word. It's on our website, so it's everywhere. So we're using all kind of network we can, so we can spread the word. And I have an information that I have to tell you. because everything is in English in this call. And also I shared this information last week when we were at Jamaica Association on Jean Talon. Since the beginning of this initiative, since the beginning, we can say that 100%, I said 100, there's no other organization in this country who can have this statistics. 100% of Anglophone Black-led organizations, 100% who apply get funded. So if anybody could have any doubt about, our group Tanset who's located in the east of Montreal is only funding organization from east. No, we fund organizations for all over the province. And so far, I said so far, maybe it's not the future, but the reality as of today, 100% of organizations who apply in our calls for project, there was 2 calls for project, they get funded, 100% of those. So if you can reach Groupe Tanset, reach Groupe Tanset, apply, make sure first you go to information sessions, because in information session, you get that extra information you need so you can better fill your application, and also so you can understand a lot of things. For example, right I'm talking to you, there is an information session right now. So that's why I'm going with you. And then I'm going back. We had yesterday, and we're going to have some next week. We have in afternoon, we have at night. So that's why I said I'm going to share something.
We have the link. I see the link for the registration.
I'm just going to give some explanations. Click on the link.
All right. And I'll be as descriptive as possible, because we have people who are listening. We have people live here watching, and we have people who are listening.
Okay, good. So this is our page for the third call. So everything is in bilingual. Okay. So maybe go down here. What it says.
Apply now.
Yeah. You can apply. Go down again. There's information session. So if you click,
there we go.
Yes, you see. So this is what we have. So we already have a few in October and November, but for example, today we are in English in the morning, French in the afternoon, and from 6 to 7:30, again, another information session in English. Okay. So next week. And again,
and just to explain for when people go on the website, so when you see Tropicana, SVCCI, that's the counterpart in Ontario. When you see 3737, that's us here in Quebec. So those are ones. Okay.
Yeah. So you see next week, Tuesday, French in the afternoon, English at night. And on December 7th, another last one was going to be in French. And even when we do it in French, if someone is in English, have a question in English, we will answer in English. Same thing when we do it in English. If someone have a question in French, we're going to answer. So basically, if in your network, if you can push a date, push Tuesday, December 5th, it's going to be in English at 5 p.m. And also, since we have an open, fair, and clear process, go down. Like click on evaluation committee.
Evaluation committee. Here it is. Okay.
Yeah. So anybody who is not involved with an employee who's applying, anybody who's a professional who work for an organization who have a name, for example, you can apply to be member of our committee, because the people who are selecting the projects are not Groupe Tanset employees. It's people coming from the community, English community, French community, African leadership community, Caribbean leadership. So it's people from the community who go through a mini process. For example, next week on December 4th and 7th, we're going to have our first information session for the evaluation committee. Okay. And then they will have to follow another 4 hours of training so they can understand our process, so they know our tools. So all this is to make sure that we have open, fair, and transparent process. this is what we
and that's important, and it's important to highlight because it is something that comes up a lot in conversation. How who determines who gets the grants, and
it's the community. It's the community. They apply.
That's easy, and these are things that, and what you had said before, just to make sure I understood and the listeners did. So anybody who applies to be a part of this this committee, they cannot be associated with any organization that is applying.
No, they cannot be employee, they cannot be member of the board, and they cannot have any financial link. For example, if you're a consultant and you already have, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 NPOs who are your clients, so based on the fact that these clients may apply, right, you cannot be on the committee. On the committee. So good. This is how. So that's why we basically and some people we send them a proposal. For example, when you're working for organizations like PME MTL, so you are a funder. So you know what it is. When you work for a bank, for example, so based on the bank, you already have your own ethics. And when you come on a community, you come with the name of your bank. Right. It says your name and Royal Bank. So you cannot miss anything. If you miss something, that means the World Bank missed something. So that's how we select the members of our committees.
This is good. And now, and as we're going through this, and if anybody in our studio audience has any questions, they're welcome to either put up their hand to ask, or they could put it in the chat. But one of the things that has come up a lot recently, as we've been pushing, especially within the networks that we have, we've been really encouraging people to get involved and to apply to find out for more information. Now, we have a lot of business owners within the community, right? Now, this particular fund, right, is for nonprofit organizations, right?
Yes.
Now, what I've realized is that we have a lot of for-profit companies, but they're doing social causes. They're doing things that technically would qualify them as a social economy enterprise, where now, I don't know if you could just enlighten people a little bit.
I'm going to think, because during the last 20 years, I had to fund all these categories. I fund NPOs, I fund private companies, and I fund social enterprise. In Quebec, there's a law about social enterprises who defines clearly what is a social economy enterprise in Quebec. So there's a large definition, and then each other funder will give their own parameters to fund them. So basically, the legal definition of a social enterprise in Quebec, very first, your legal entity have to be either an NPO, in French, an OBNL, that means a non-profit. So when you are at the Registre des Entreprises du Québec, you are a non-profit. Or at the Registre des Entreprises du Québec, you are a cooperative. So it really starts by your legal status, NPO or cooperative. Yeah, co-op. So this is it, because it's a law. That's the way it is. So when it's time to fund you with social economy funds, they will go with this legal aspect. But all funders, they have the right to decide who they will fund. For example, you can be an incorporated organization, and you said, here we have a social mission. So it's up to the organizations to decide to fund you or not. But guaranteed, these funds will not be social economy funds, because the social economy funds, they come from a large variety of funders. But if the money comes from the government or subsidiaries of government, chances are you might not be entitled to this fund.
Wait, I'm not sure if I understood that. So say that again. So in this case, so you're a nonprofit, your NPO is focused on doing something that's going to have a social impact.
Yeah.
Yes, but in this particular case, it wouldn't be funded as social impact?
You mean in which situation?
In with this particular fund that's out right now, like the
Yeah. SBCCI,
yeah.
SBCCI supporting Black Canadian Communities Initiative. But there's something which is very important, very important for people to know. When you go on the website where to apply, there's a program guideline. The program guideline gives you all the information you need to know.
Good.
If you want to apply for capacity building project, you can apply for up to 45,000.
And what is capacity building?
Capacity building is all the actions you're going to do on 3 main streams. So,
okay.
Actions you're going to do to improve your governance, actions you're going to do to improve your management, and actions you're going to do so you can increase and diversify your sources of funding. I'm going to give some example.
Mm-hmm.
Among the action you do to improve your governance, for example, any training regarding governance, any training for your board members, any consultant who's going to help you with the structure of your NPO, for example, your bylaws, you see, or your ethics rule. So all these elements, they are called government deliverables. You can put money on this. It's eligible expenses. Okay. Any action you will do to improve your management. When you hire an accountant to help you with your financial statement, this is a capacity building element. When you invest in the website of your organization, in social media, it's some capacity building elements. Things you're going to do in order to increase and diversify your sources of funding.
So even like things like your business plan, your strategic plan.
Yeah, business plan is part of it.
Too. Okay, great. Okay.
It's part of it. Because with a business plan, it helps you to get funding.
Right.
Your strategic plan helps you to get funding.
Yeah.
Anything you will do in order so you can get your own charity number. This is an eligible expense. So basically, you have 45,000, but up to 45,000, because not everyone's going to have 45,000. You have up to 45,000, so you can do actions in these 3 fields. Yeah. This is what capacity building is. Now, question and answer. If you say, oh, you know what, we want to have we are, for example, a nonprofit who give classes of English or French, and you said that you want to hire somebody to give classes at night or on the weekend. This expense is not an eligible expense. It's not. Okay. Because each call of project have its own guidelines. Just to give you an example, last year, we had an internal round of funding in the SBCCI, where organizations already funded could apply. They had a program guideline to apply. And for example, in this round, salaries was eligible. Mm-hmm. See, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
Okay.
Now, in this third call, it's not. But in this third call, there's a second good news. It's what we call the capital assist. Mm-hmm. The capital assist, you can get up to $60,000. There's 2 groups of expenses. The first group is all investment you do in assets, buying a computer, laptop, camera, phone, table, chair, electric bar. So any assets you need to better serve your clientele, to better serve your mission.
Amazing. Okay.
So this is for equipment. And the other stream is everything regarding renovation. Renovations, repairs in an existing space. So that means you are already giving services in that premise. Either your own building, either you're renting a space, you already give services. And now you want to improve Now you're going to do renovations. Why I specify existing place? Because if it's a future place, you want to move, you want to go in a room. No, because at the moment you apply, you already have your space or room or building. I see a hand. Maybe it's a question for me?
It is. Brother Ross, you're welcome.
Thank you, Pharaoh. Alors, Monsieur Vertus, ça vous dérange pas, je vais poser la question en français.
Bonjour, Ross. OK, je vais te répondre en français.
OK, parfait. Donc, j'ai une question par rapport au capacity building. Donc, si moi, j'ai une compagnie incorporée.
Non lucratif ou une coopérative?
Non, ça, je comprends bien. Et j'ai eu la grâce d'être financé par Face Coalition. Donc, j'ai été en mesure...
Ça, c'est un prêt.
Ouais, exactement, c'est un prêt. Donc, ma femme et moi, on avait l'intention d'ouvrir une OSBL où est-ce qu'on réside. Donc, lorsqu'on parle de capacity building, est-ce que si je suis en voie d'ouvrir mon OSBL, est-ce que le capacity building veut dire que ils vont me supporter si j'ai besoin, comme tu dis dans le capacity building, j'ai oublié c'était quoi les termes, si tu as besoin de funding pour le plan d'affaires ou etc. Est-ce qu'ils vont être en mesure, si je démontre que bon j'ai besoin d'ouvrir, voici ma mission, voici ma vision, c'est ce que j'ai besoin, est-ce que j'ai besoin d'être une OSBL déjà pignon sur rue, ou si je suis en voie de l'être, est-ce qu'ils vont être en mesure de me subventionner?
Pour le capacity building, vous n'êtes pas tenu d'avoir pignon sur rue. Le head office peut être chez vous, comme beaucoup d'OBNL qui ont commencé. Le head office, c'est chez vous. Mais par contre, au moment de postuler, vous devez être une entité légale. Donc, vous avez jusqu'au 15 décembre pour que votre entité soit une entité légale qui a un numéro de NEQ.
Now, that's a great, I just want to repeat that in English for our listeners, because I think that's
Yes.
a very, very good question. And the question that was asked is that as a nonprofit, so you have your nonprofit organization, some people are operating a nonprofit, but it's not fully registered yet. So some of them are still, you know, you don't necessarily have an office, but you do things like you have your program, you have your mission, you have your cause, you could be operating out of your house. All those things are fine. But for you to be able to apply, you have to be a registered nonprofit, which means that you have to get your NEQ number.
Yes.
You go down to the Gestion des entreprises, you have your two friends that are on your board of directors, and you register so you get your NEQ number. You have to have it by the 15th, right?
Yes.
And sometimes it takes 5 business days. It could even take more. Just
Yes.
pay that extra to get the rush. All right. If you're doing that, pay the extra to get the rush because you need that number in order to apply. Sorry, great question, Ross.
And thank you for your intervention, Pharaoh, because since you need to have your NEQ number, so when you're applying, I don't know, you decide to apply on the last day, which I don't recommend. Always give yourself maybe 2 days, 2 days in advance to apply. But it's very important that don't start your process of getting your nonprofit in the last 3-4 days, because you might not have your number. You might not have it.
Okay.
It might take 5 to 10 days. So do it this weekend. Start it this weekend.
Start it now. As you're hearing this, start it right now. So we have a couple more questions coming in. So yes,
Good.
Brother Jerry, the floor is yours.
Yes. Bonjour, Monsieur Vertus, ça va bien?
Bonjour, oui.
Oui, dans le fond, moi, j'ai une organisation avec mon partenaire Nadia, le Diamant Bleu de Nadia. Dans le fond, ma question, c'était parce qu'on n'a pas encore de bureau. On n'a pas encore, on a comme l'allocation qu'on veut rester dans la Rive-Sud, mais on n'a pas encore de bureau pour justement aller dans nos opérations. Est-ce que ça s'applique même si on n'a pas de bureau encore, ou il faut absolument avoir un bureau, une adresse de bureau ou quoi que ce soit?
Non, si vous n'avez pas de bureau, vous êtes éligible.
Parfait.
À la subvention de capacité building, parce que comme je dis, capacity building, c'est des actions que vous prenez pour améliorer votre gouvernance, améliorer votre gestion et vous aider à augmenter et diversifier vos sources de fonds. C'est ça l'objectif. Donc,
I have just let me repeat that again. So guys, the question that was asked was just, again, if I'm if I'm at home running my nonprofit organization, do I qualify? And the answer is yes, you do qualify, because the whole point of this fund is capacity. Now, my other thing to add to that, so what if a part of your capacity you'd like to get a locale, you'd like to get an office? Can you take a portion of your funds to get an MC locale?
No, because no, and also don't forget the third element is increasing and diversifying the source of funding. So that's why you will have an SPRC. This is a consultant who's going to follow you, who's going to meet you every 3 months to say, okay, here is your plan. This is what you say you're going to do. So show me that you've done this thing within the last 3 months.
Sure.
For example, if you said that you're going to apply for this grant, you're going to apply for this sponsorship, because $45,000 is not enough to pay employees, pay rent, and pay for capacity building.
Good point.
That's why out of this 45,000, don't forget, we have an experience with 206 organizations, and among these 206, the majority of them in the 12 months they were in the program, they did increase. They did really increase their sources of funding.
Nice.
So you want to have the funding so you can pay your rent. So there's a lot of other organizations you're going to apply, so you get the funding. You're going to go in different programs, you get the funding.
Beautiful. And okay, and as I'm looking at the time, so we have another like 4 minutes before we wrap up. So we have it on our note question de l'audience. So guys, please, and as you guys are listening, if you have any other questions you want to ask, just now would be the time. Brother Ross, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Pharaoh. Donc, la question suivante qui suivait. Donc, si j'ai bien compris, il faut avoir le numéro d'NEQ pour être OSBL. Deuxième chose, si j'ai pas encore mon plan d'affaires, est-ce que dans le capacity building, est-ce qu'on peut m'amener à compléter mon plan d'affaires, ou il faut que je vienne déjà solide avec un plan d'affaires, avec tout le plan d'affaires étoffé, ou on peut m'outiller dans ce fonds-là? Est-ce qu'on peut m'outiller pour le plan d'affaires et m'aider à aller à cette vision-là que j'ai pour la OSBL?
Définitivement, le rôle même de l'initiative, c'est de vous donner du support pour faire. Là, on utilise le mot plan d'affaires, mais pour un OSBL, c'est pas nécessairement un plan d'affaires. C'est que vous allez comme recruter un consultant, un expert qui va vous faire une planification stratégique. Et avec cette planification stratégique, souvent, il y a un plan d'action qui vient avec, et c'est ça qui est considéré comme plan d'affaires dans le langage des OBNL. Mais vous n'êtes pas obligé de l'avoir. Mais par contre, étant donné que, je ne sais pas, disons qu'on reçoit, là, je lance des chiffres comme ça. Je vais plutôt aller avec des statistiques d'avant, comme ça. Bon, disons que durant les 2 dernières années, on a reçu 300 demandes, et sur 300 demandes, bon, on en a financé quelque chose comme à peu près 200. D'accord? Donc, il y a comme un 100. Donc, pour toutes sortes de raisons, n'ont pas été financés. Mais qu'est-ce qui fait que tu es dans le 2/3? C'est que tu as été capable de clairement rédiger qui vous êtes, qu'est-ce que vous faites, quel impact vous avez déjà eu ou quel impact que vous cherchez, et vous expliquer clairement que si on supporte votre organisation, voici qu'est-ce que les collectivités vont gagner. Donc, on mise sur votre futur.
C'est bon.
Mais pour ça, il faut que vous ayez un minimum d'idées où est-ce que vous en allez. Un minimum de mission, un minimum d'objectifs, un minimum de capital humain qui est alentour de l'organisation, un minimum de bénévoles qui est avec vous, puis un minimum de calendrier d'activité qui dit qui vous êtes. Si vous dites que vous êtes là pour faire de l'aide aux devoirs et vous n'êtes pas en mesure de dire que vous avez aidé ne serait-ce une personne à faire ses devoirs, donc imaginez comment un jury qui a une grille d'évaluation pour évaluer votre impact, dire pourquoi vous et pas un autre. Bon, évidemment, il faut que vous montrez que vous savez où est-ce que vous vous en allez.
I think that's huge. I just want to repeat that again. Again,
Yes.
Ross, thank you. Great question. So it is. So basically the question was, again, if as a nonprofit, I'm coming into this, I don't have a business plan yet. I have a concept, I have an idea, something that I'm passionate about. Will I be able to apply? And again, it is to understand that yes, this fund is to help you. It's when we're talking business plans, it's to understand also sometimes as nonprofits, like you need like a strategic plan, you need an action plan, you need different things like that. The point is this financing is to help you to do that. The other thing that's important for people to understand is that the whole goal here is for you to be able to come and present. You don't have to be fully ready, but you got to show that what your impact is. You have to be able to share clearly what your vision and mission is. It is great to show that you already have volunteers or you have people that you've already helped. These kind of things are huge. And I'll even add that if you could even get letters of support from people that have helped you, if you or that you have helped, if you already have communicated with some other organizations that are willing to support you in your mission, get some letters of support from those organizations. These type of things show that there's an impact, that your organization will be able to have an impact within the community. Did I reiterate that? All right, Ed?
Yeah, thank you very much, Farrell.
I do this, bro. But now, and the thing is, before I have you go, I wanted to actually have you give us some tips or tricks that people should be looking out for, that they should be, things that people should be thinking about to give them that competitive advantage. Like, are there things that you could share with the community? And Ross, I don't know if did you have one more question, Ross? I wasn't sure if you're.
Yeah, one more. Thanks, Farrell. Thank you very much. Une petite dernière, Monsieur Vertus.
Yes.
Je trouve que le time frame est très short notice. Peut-être c'est moi qui est pas dans les coulisses, qui n'était pas au courant. Là, je vois c'est du 20 novembre au 15 décembre. Est-ce que en 2024, on va refaire une autre, il y aura une autre subvention, ou c'est vraiment t'as jusqu'au 15 décembre puis après too bad for you?
Ouais. Normalement, oui. Après 15 décembre, too bad for you. Mais il y a quelque chose. N'oubliez pas que, mais là, je vous partage de l'information. Initialement, lorsque ce programme a commencé, à l'échelle du pays, c'était une initiative de 25 millions de dollars. C'est ça qui était annoncé pour 4 ans. Entre-temps, avec notre capacité à aller rejoindre les non-profits et que vous faites des applications, on dit gouvernement, ton enveloppe de 25 est insuffisante. Fait que là, graduellement, ils ont donné des montants pour atteindre 200 millions de dollars. Donc, on est passé de 25 à 200 parce qu'on a dit les besoins sur le terrain sont grands. C'est comme exemple, présentement, les gens vont postuler, mais comme dans n'importe quel appel de projet, 100% des projets ne sont pas approuvés, mais au moins, il y a 100% des projets qui est dans une database. Là, ensuite, on va dire, gouvernement, avec l'argent que tu m'as donné, voici combien que j'ai été capable de financer, mais voici combien que je n'ai pas été capable de financer. Et là, bon, il y a toutes sortes d'échanges qui commencent. C'est sûr que pour le moment, c'est une initiative qui va jusqu'au 31 mars 2025. Donc, on va octroyer les fonds à partir du 1er avril 2024. Vous avez 12 mois pour réaliser vos projets. Entre-temps, nous, Groupe 3737 et les intermédiaires, nous continuons nos représentations auprès du gouvernement. On est en pleine tournée nationale. Pas plus tard que lundi dernier, on était à Toronto. La semaine passée, Montréal. Ensuite, on est Mythe, Calgary, Edmonton, parce que c'est une initiative nationale et on veut que ça soit renouvelé. Mais vous devez absolument postuler maintenant. C'est comme acheter son billet de loterie. Ouais, parce que tu t'achètes ton billet de loterie parce qu'une fois que tu as acheté le billet, là, on dit, ah, sais-tu quoi? Tous ceux qui avaient un billet, qui ont perdu, eh bien, vous pouvez, on va faire un autre tirage, mais juste avec vous.
That's exactly.
Ça veut dire que vous, en postulant maintenant, même si que pour toutes sortes de raisons, vous ne serez pas sélectionné, mais au moins vous êtes ce qu'on appelle you're in the pot.
That's it.
Parce que moi, ce que je peux vous dire, il y a 105 organisations qui n'étaient pas sélectionnées dans le premier appel de projet. Ils n'étaient pas sélectionnés. Et c'est 9 mois plus tard. Imagine, là, on t'a dit non, il y a 9 mois. 9 mois plus tard, tu reçois un email, on leur dit, ben écoutez, on a des nouveaux fonds. Vu que vous avez postulé, vous allez passer en priorité. And then we funded this 105 organizations who've been declined 9 months before.
Right. So I just want to, so let me just reiterate that. That was, again, another great question. So what was brought up is the fact that the time frame is short. And even those who are tuning in on the radio, it's even shorter for you guys. You're hearing this today. It's the 7th, technically, when you guys are hearing this on air. And so that leaves you 8 days. You don't have much time to waste. So what Brother Ross was asking is that, is there going to be a potential other call? So Ed was giving some context. So now in this particular case, it basically December 15th is the close. It closes. The funds are going to be made available as of March 2024, and the whole program ends March 2025 for that particular fund. But what he was explaining is that it's extremely important to apply, because once you apply, you're in the database. You are there. And the example that he gave is that on the second round of funding, people who did not receive funding on the first round, because they were already in the database, they were the ones who were eligible for that second wave. So even if you're not funded in this particular round, be in the system, be around, be involved, because when there's another opportunity for funding, this is where you're already in the game, you're already in the house, so to speak. So the likelihood of you being able to get funding is just that much higher, right? I just gave a quick resume concept,
and I have an extra information.
Yes, great
information, because there's a lot of good news for Black people since the last 3 years.
Amen.
And I don't know if we can have 3 minutes so I can present some slides. Let me share.
Yes, you can share. As you said, I do want to, while you're setting this up. So guys, I'm encouraging you guys to join us next week, because we're going to have Louis-Edgar Jean-Francois, who's going to be joining us, and who's
my boss.
Ed's boss is joining us next week, guys. And he's going to be talking more about what Ed is about to talk about right now in terms of the national push, because there's a movement that we're looking to set up, guys, nationally.
Yeah.
So Ed's boss is going to be on next week.
Basically, I'm going to share you some slides when we go in other cities, how we communicate with other organizations. And you see on the top of the thing, you see a lot of logos. These logos will look as the national funders. So there's about for $800 million there've been 4 impact initiatives for a total of 800 million. What I'm talking to you today is the supporting Black Canadian initiative. This is the funding that you can have. You can apply since November 28, and you can apply until December 15. So far, about 1,000 NPOs across the countries have been funded. In Quebec, it's 206, but in all the country, it's 1,000.
That's amazing.
And the Black Entrepreneurship Program, I know that, Ross, you've been funded by FACE. FACE is one of the key elements of this program, but it's not only FACE. FACE is the one who's going to give you the loan, but also they've been funding. There were 43 organizations all over the country who get real funding. We're talking $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, so they can keep going with their mission. Okay, so this is the Black entrepreneurship. The Social Finance Fund, I have a meeting with them no later than on December 12th. In this money of $755 million, it's for all the country, whatever your community is. It's a national thing. But we work so the Blacks can have at least 130 million out of 75. So we've been discussing a lot. Like I said, there was another meeting 2 weeks ago. There's another one in about 12 days. So we are here to bring the Black voice on this table so we can have our share. Because these organizations who are giving this money, they don't care about us. They've been having money forever, and forever they don't fund Black. So that's why we were a big group. We are 7 organizations, Black organizations. So we said, you know what? If you have all this money for the Canadians, don't forget the Black Canadians.
Good.
So this is what doing. And there's another thing, and this is a super good news, the Black-led Philanthropic Endowment Fund. So this fund, just to let you know, that's good you come on the call today, because I have information for you. This organization is called FFBC. It's foundation for Black communities, and they will run a call for project starting December 18. Write it, December 18 until February 1st. They have an envelope of $8.9 million to share it all over the country. So Quebec would have some, Ontario will have some. So their call of project is going just after ours. Ours will finish December 15 to apply. And you, as of the next Monday, the 18th, you can apply. Again, if you're Black-led, nonprofit, you can apply.
Amazing.
And whatever they do is in completion of what we're doing.
Amazing.
For example, in our funds, right now in this call, salaries are not eligible and paying for rent is not eligible in our call. But if you go on their call, rent and salaries are eligible.
Oh, amazing.
But they don't have capacity building, for example, So we are in...
You guys complement each other. So on your side,
we are complementary.
you're setting up the organizations to be able to have capacity, and they're helping them to run their organization.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, they will have some information sessions, and we already know, we don't have the dates yet, but we know that we're going to have some joint information sessions. So they will ask us so we can bring them our network.
I love it.
For example.
And
So,
great. And when that is launched, I would like to reach out and have somebody join us on the Empower Hour.
Like I said, the information we got it last Friday.
Yep, good.
It's very fresh information.
Hot off the press. Mm-hmm.
They will reach out to us. It's just that we don't want, we don't want to run two call for project for the same clientele at the same time. So we will finish on December 15th.
Yep.
And they will start on December 18th. So there was going to be information session in January, things like that regarding this call for project.
And
so there's a lot of things for Black communities. In this moment, it's important for all of you so you can benefit from it.
Guys, like we say, closed mouths don't get fed. Now is the time to let your voices be heard, to make sure people know that your presence, to reach out to the organizations, ask the questions, send in your application. The form is really not that complicated. Give yourself some time. Don't wait till the last minute. Give yourself some time to apply. Ed, you being here today is we're extremely grateful because I know you're a very busy person. Like you're saying, you're in and out of these meetings all day, just ensuring that the community knows. So you taking the time to be here really does mean a lot to us in terms of members of the community. It means a lot to us here on the Empower Hour. So now, before I let you go off the show, I like to put our guests on the spot and have them leave our listeners with some empowering words, some words of encouragement, some words of empowerment. Can you please share something with our listeners for today?
Yes. In Groupe 37, I'm in charge of social innovation. And social innovations, if we can put a definition on it, it's all the intentional work that people or organizations are doing in order to override some barriers, specifically the systemic barriers. Mm-hmm. But one thing I know about barriers are made to be removed. So whatever the barrier is, what you can do is to jump the barrier.
I love that.
Remove the barrier. And I've been for the last 20 years, basically, I work with different communities, but it was all about fighting against barriers. And one of the barriers I've been working on for the last 20 years, it's always about funding those who are not funded.
Mm.
But for example, for the last 4 years, I'm in Groupe 37, so it's basically on Black nonprofits. But before, when I was like in Montreal North, it was to get funding to entrepreneurs coming from Montreal North. Because they would go in the ecosystem, they just look at the address and they just block them. So me, for 4 years, I was there and I said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get the money, we're going to bring it to Montreal North, and Montreal North will fund their own entrepreneurs. This is what we've been doing. So
jumping the barriers.
All the barriers they put, all we have to do, I didn't say it's easy. I think it's easy. But when you look at a barrier, just know that barriers are made to be removed.
Woo! Ed, Thank you for that. And that's a big one. We appreciate we appreciate again having you here on Parley with the People. Thank you for blessing all our listeners here who've been supporting and tuning into the Empower Hour. This has been exceptional. If you've been listening, this is our brother Ed. Ed Vertus from Group 3737. Please check out Group 3737. Reach out to them. There's a funding call right now going until the 15th of December. You do not want to miss the opportunity. Ed, is there a phone number that people could call, or if they?
We go with emails because comment qu'on dit inondé?
Yeah, we're bombarded. We're bombarded with calls. So
it's crazy. So by emails, but mostly when we have information sessions. This is, you have 2 hours with us. You spread the questions.
I love it. So, and the email I have that I've been sharing with everybody, just take down initiative@group3737.com. So that's initiative.
And also the link I shared.
Yes.
I shared a link.
Yes.
This link is the portal of the third call, either to know where are the information session or where to apply.
Perfect.
When you click on apply, this is the national portal where you will apply. So this is what the 4 organizations are. And you see, you can choose English. It says apply now. But one thing is important. When you go there, this is the program guideline.
Okay.
So before even to log in, create a password, and start applying, go read the program guideline.
Yeah.
Because all the information you want to know about the initiative, it's there. It's right there.
Thank you. That's huge.
And then after you go to information sessions where we're going to go in more technicalities about some specific questions. But first, go get the information to see how you can be eligible and everything.
I have to tell you, this has been exciting. This has been fun. This has been extremely empowering. Again, I thank you for being here and for blessing us.
And we would like to thank our special guests. This episode is possible thanks to the awesome people at CKUT, the OFC, Solo Drum, and the Caribbean Curry House. Do you have any shout outs?
First of all, I was very unbridged just now, I find.
You take umbrage, okay.
But no, I don't really have my shout outs right now. I just want to send mad love to the city. I want to remind people that there's funding available. Go out and get it. If you need any support, reach out to the OFC. And if you're an English-speaking member of the Black community here in Quebec, we want to hear from you because we're looking to really come together as an English-speaking community. In Quebec, we are considered a double minority. And basically, as a double minority, we got to just fight just that much harder. And union fait la force, guys. So we're a lot stronger if we come together as one people, unite as a fist, and punch the system. You guys know how we get down. That's it for me for today.
I love it. Watch it in space. I love it.
I
like. Go ahead, G.
So I said, I have nothing more to say.
I'm gonna give a shout. I just want to send a shout out to my mama, and the rest of my family. I just want to shout out to us just for being some strong people. That's it.
Kings and queens, this was the Empower Hour with Pharaoh Freeman, Queen Kaya, and Gina the Great. We are on live every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and broadcasting Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. on CKUT 90.3 FM. Hopefully you got your dose of entertainment, enlightenment, and empowerment. Subscribe and watch us on empowermtl.com and email us at empowermtl@gmail.com to anonymously be featured on our What's the Tea Mail segment. Stay blessed, black, and highly favored.